another Chart Nerd TA video. So I'm diving into Bitcoin for my first update today, and then I'll relay on some altcoins after this video. So just looking at Bitcoin here, okay, you can see that here on the daily time frame, okay, we're basically caught between this range right now, okay, where we've got this resistance at 25k, okay, and then you've got this support down at 17.5. So we're literally, by the looks of it at the moment, literally caught between support and resistance, trying to carve out some sort of bottom here if we hold support and look to come up and retest resistance again. But the only way that I think this may occur is if you see Bitcoin break this trend line here on the daily time frame, okay, because since reaching this resistance line, you can see that multiple times you've been rejected. Currently in the last couple of days as well, you've been rejected by this trend line. Right now you're trying to coil up to it, okay, you can see that you're trying to coil up to it, so potentially there will be a break or some sort of move, okay, where you either break through resistance and start to tackle this trend line, or you start to lose support and potentially retest this local low of support that we're caught in this channel. So we need to keep an eye on it here. I think there's a couple of potentials, okay, so some people are basically classing this as I said, a higher level of support, and you've got this resistance here as well, okay, so you've got this resistance at 20.5k, I think it is around that sort of area, yeah, 20.5k, and potentially some people think that we're coiling up in some sort of double bottom here, ascending triangle, where we're going to break this resistance, okay, retest this resistance, maybe pull back for higher level of support, and then get your breakout, okay, and if you do start to tackle above 20.5k, your next point of resistance would be this point of contact here at 22k. Okay, so that's what some people are looking at. I'm just trying to give you different viewpoints and different patterns that people are looking at, and what potentially, you know, where they break out, where they might be heading to again. So just to get that for confirmation, if you do see the breakout of this ascending triangle and you do see this level of support hold here, okay, and Bitcoin starts to come up, break this trend line, okay, this trend line right here, fall back to support and attack this resistance, potentially if you do start to come up and you know, break that, then you are looking for a long opportunity up to 22.8k, okay. So that again, it has a potential, but it's all about holding this ascending level of support that Bitcoin's got going for itself here, okay, this ascending level of support. It's all about holding that. If you do see Bitcoin start to roll and lose support of that and turn it to resistance, in my eyes, you're likely to come back down and retest this local low that we put in here in June, okay. Now the reason being for that is because potentially we could also have you've got this level of support here roughly around this area here, and what others are looking at, okay, the bearish scenario is that if potentially you've got this level of support, level of resistance, level of support, resistance, support, resistance, and you're basically getting lower highs every time, okay, you're running into this trend line and you're holding this horizontal level of support. So it's something called a descending triangle, okay. This is what another few people I see on TA, a few friends of mine as well, are saying that you potentially are coiling up in this descending triangle here, lower highs, okay, and looking to lose this support. And if you lose this support, then you need to go short, okay. And basically the downside target for that would be from there to there, and you can see that if this is our resistance point, if we do lose support, we're in a technical target down to 16.2k roughly. Another friend of mine was showing me as well that why that has a potential is because going from this 22k high, okay, retracing back down to this low, which is our current support of the descending triangle potentially, okay, if we go down to that low, you can see here that if you do lose support, again, I'll show you, if you do lose support and this is a descending triangle, where you've lost support or resistance, you'll be coming down and meeting the 1618 target, okay, at 16.295k. Okay, and at that point what you'll be doing is losing this low, and it could be quite negative here for Bitcoin, because if you do start to tumble down here, okay, if you do start to come back up and hit your head on resistance and turn this 17.5k into resistance, then it's very negative, and you could see further downside for Bitcoin in the near future as well. Okay, so it's all about support and resistance, okay, it's literally about support and resistance. From this high to this low, the 1618 target, okay, if you do lose this support, especially this descending triangle support, if you do lose that, okay, and you start to lose this low, then for me, okay, your potential target is down here at 16, where was it, 16.2k. Okay, and at that point, if you come back up and turn it to resistance, okay, potentially you could start to coil up and then form a bottom. Okay, what I was looking at here for Bitcoin as well is basically some sort of irregular correction on the larger time frame. So I'm going to go to the weekly time frame here. Now, I think CoinsKid and a few other people mentioned this sort of pattern, or are basically going off this pattern. Now, I do think it's in play, but I think there's something a little bit different about this one. Okay, so it's called an irregular correction. Okay, now right now you had this all-time high here for Bitcoin, which was 54k. Okay, and from this point here, we had a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5 wave correction. Okay, we had a correction there. We found support, and at that point, then you had this A, this B, and then this C wave. Okay, but this C wave here was irregular. Okay, because it was a higher high than this high here. Okay, so this is why it's called an irregular correction, right? And this is the start of an irregular ABC correction, a large ABC correction. Okay, so as I said, you got this A, this B, and this C in this wave here. So this makes one wave. Okay, so this is one wave down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's one wave done, and then you've got an A, a B, a C, second wave done, higher high than this high, which makes this correction irregular. And then from this point, okay, what a lot of people are saying, I think CoinSkid was saying, you've got this A, this B, and this C, and potentially right now you've got this low, you're holding this low, and at this point you're going to start to come up and tackle resistance. Okay, but for me, looking at this, okay, in an irregular correction, a 335 I think it is, or a 3-5, yeah, a 335. No, a 535, sorry, 535, okay, because you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's the 5, and then you got a 1, 2, 3, that's a 3 within an ABC, and then right here, okay, this is potentially where you got your wave 1, your wave 2, your wave 3, your wave 4, and potentially right now, if you lose this support, as I said, you got that 16k target for me, at a minimum 16k, where potentially you could find a wave 5, and that's where the bottom is for Bitcoin. Okay, and it's called a 5 wave, 3 wave up, 5 wave down. Okay, so a 5, 3, 5 irregular correction, because you've got a higher high here than you did on this high. So again, potentially, okay, within this, I'm going to go from this high. Okay, we have this all-time high, okay, it's 69k, and retracing back down to this 28k low, okay, of support that we had. You can see as well that the 1618 does sit around that 16k area. Okay, it sits around that 16k area, going from the all-time high back down to the low where you started this ABC wave up. Okay, for the irregular high, the 1, 2, 3, 4, potentially 5 waves down could end at that 16k. Okay, but if you lose 16k, ultimately, what you could be seeing here, okay, if we do lose 16k, again, what you're holding is the previous bull run high. Okay, right now we're sitting on that previous bull run high. Okay, literally sitting on it. Okay, in 2018. Okay, so if that high is lost, I do think that Bitcoin will then, okay, and you can see that right now we're holding this cluster of support here. Okay, so you can see this is where the price is right now. If we do start to lose this, okay, and you start to see Bitcoin losing the support and hitting its head on that, okay, I do think potentially what you're looking to come down to a minimum, okay, especially if you lose 16.2k in the near short term, is 14k. Okay, because then it's the previous high here that you had in June 2019. Okay, so we would have lost this high, closed below that. Okay, closed below that high, and then the next high again for support is around this area here, looking for support. Okay, so for me, again, 16.2k. If we do lose support here, okay, you're looking for a minimum of 16.2, and then if you lose that, I think, you know, you're starting to come down. You're potentially coming down to the 14s. Okay, and retesting this high here, looking for support further on here for Bitcoin. So yeah, guys, this was a quick update for you today. Again, on the long run, we've also got this trend line as resistance. Okay, the Bitcoin has only come up to once so far. So you had the high. Okay, you've run up to this resistance. Potentially, what you're doing is coming down in these sort of waves. If this low holds, okay, for me, I do think, and you do start to break out of this resistance, I do think Bitcoin potentially is on its way back up to retest 25k. Okay, and at that point, again, you can see you'd be running into this resistance line, and Bitcoin would have to make a decision. But that's only if you hold support. So I've given you the bullish scenarios. Okay, if we're holding support here and the lows are in right now, if you see Bitcoin retrace to 25k, okay, and if it started to come back up through the EMAs here, put in a low, retrace back up to 25k, at that point I would expect to pull back to support. And if you do break out, for me the long run target is 30.7k, okay, because you'd be taking out this high, okay, this would be your lows right now. If you started to come up, break above it, fall back to that for support, okay, then you're looking to start breaking out the woods, okay, and potentially you got your reversal on here. Okay, so for me in the long run, if you start to come up and tackle 25k, and this is a low right now, and you're going to start to bounce up, for me to get confirmation that we're in some sort of bull run again, or you know, all you have to do is get back above that 25k, hold it as support, and meet that 30k target, okay, because then you'll be basically flipping the switch here. But again, in the near short term, I'm not too certain, okay. I think the market's in a very bumpy place at the moment, and we're coiling up, okay, waiting for something to happen, okay. We're getting compressed into a corner, and for me right now, I do think in the near short term potentially we could start losing support. But again, what am I to say, okay? What am I to say? As I said, potentially you've got this wave 1, this wave 2, this wave 3, this wave 4. If you start losing this 3 wave as support, okay, it confirms that you're going to put in this 5th wave, okay, of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then you've got your A, your B, your C. Okay, so it's a 5, 3, 5 correction, finding support. Okay, back down on these local highs here around 14k, and then starting to march on. Okay, because I don't think, I mean, sentiment is really negative right now, but I still think that there's people that are clinging on. Okay, and what it needs to do is flush and just wipe people out. Okay, especially as a lot of people are still thinking this is the low. All right, okay, because normally the low is in when everybody, 99% of the market thinks, okay, this is the end. You know, when Bitcoin was down here, okay, and had this massive crash, people were shitting themselves. Excuse me. But again, okay, fear provides opportunity, okay, but it never feels like it. And then from then it started marching on. If Bitcoin's to do the same here and literally just crash down and do something like this, and I think at that point you'd be in this sort of area, okay, and looking to get that bounce back up and recover sometime in the early part of 2023. So I think the last part of Q4, okay, is going to remain quite bearish. I mean, for altcoins, it doesn't look too good either. Okay, a lot of them I feel are in potential retracements right now, and it's all about holding support. And if they don't hold support, I mean, the likes of Cardano, a few other projects have already lost their local lows. So for me, that could potentially be a front-running signal that in the near short term, again, Bitcoin's looking to roll over. Okay, I also think I was looking at the Bitcoin dominance chart the other day, and where is it? Yeah, the Bitcoin dominance chart right now. What normally happens, okay, if you start to see the Bitcoin dominance picking up, okay, people are getting fearful. If they're buying back into Bitcoin, the dominance of Bitcoin is rising, okay, but the Bitcoin's price is going down. Okay, altcoins I think are gonna start to get battered, and you can see that right now. Okay, that the lows are basically here for the Bitcoin dominance, and right now it's bouncing off those lows. If you start to see it tackle out of resistance, okay, this was previous support, you turn that into resistance, but if it starts to break out here, the dominance of Bitcoin could increase, and if the dominance of Bitcoin increases and the price decreases, then you're going to start to see altcoins basically take a hit from that. So that's another chart that you need to keep your eyes on. But for me right now, as I said, in the near short term, I do think Bitcoin is going to start retracing, okay, especially if it starts to lose its local lows here for now, okay. But we'll keep an update, and you know, if I'm wrong, do forgive me, okay. None of this is financial advice, but I just think there's still some bearish sentiment and price action to come in the near short term in the coming weeks, towards the end of this year. So yeah, guys, that's a quick update for me on Bitcoin. I'd say quick, but I've been here for ages discussing some stuff. So, but as usual, I enjoy this stuff, and I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, please do like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, from Chart Nerd TA, peace out.